Hey there, welcome to the channel. Greetings from Koh Samui. Really glad to be back home after exploring Vietnam for around 3 weeks. I went there specifically to speak at a conference, and I also rode the epic Hai Giang Loop up in the north. You can check out some of my videos on the channel. I made a 4-part mini-series documenting the trip. But in this video, I wanted to kind of touch on my experience during the earthquake in Bangkok, which was 3 days ago. So it happened on Friday. And I happened to be traveling this particular day from Da Nang to Bangkok. So, long story short, I missed my flight when I was in Da Nang because I forgot to book a ticket to Hanoi, where I had a round trip ticket back to Bangkok. So, I ended up flying back a little bit early to Bangkok and, went through immigration. Everything was good. And I was at Suvarnabhumi. So, I fly into Suvarnabhumi instead of Don Mueang. I was originally supposed to fly out of Don Mueang back to Samui on Bangkok Airways, but since I had to reschedule my flight, I was at Suvarnabhumi, which is the largest airport in Bangkok, and they have a lot of international flights from there. And then I saw the news, there was an earthquake in Bangkok. I'm like, holy shit, what? Is this real? I couldn't really believe it. And, all of the machines were down at the airport. So basically, I was trying to get the red line to get up to Don Mueang, which is quite a long distance from Suvarnabhumi. And all of the terminals were down to get the tickets. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Something is up. This doesn't just happen for no reason, right? So I went to get some food because I'd really been missing Thai food after 3 weeks in Vietnam. I got a pad krapao at a restaurant at the airport. And I still remember I was just sitting there eating my pad krapao, which was very spicy, by the way. It was excellent. And I felt dizzy for like around 2 minutes, roughly. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I felt a little bit disoriented, dizzy, and sort of nauseous, right? So I didn't know what exactly it was all about. I thought maybe this pad krapao is just really spicy and it's making me feel nauseous. I don't know. And I'm not exactly sure if it was related to the earthquake or not, but that was right around the time the tremors were happening in Bangkok. And if you don't know already, the earthquake originated in Malaysia, up in a place called Mandalay. It was a magnitude 7.7 earthquake. There were actually 2 different earthquakes, and it severely damaged. There's terrible devastation up in Myanmar. They're still getting reports. The government has actually asked for foreign aid, which is pretty much almost never happens because of this ongoing civil war up there. But the military junta has finally asked for foreign aid because it's a state of emergency in Myanmar, right? So it's really, really terrible what happened up in Myanmar. And it also affected Bangkok, which is hundreds and hundreds of miles away from the epicenter of the earthquake. And I've just been watching videos by different YouTubers and showing the damage, the structural damage to the buildings. There's been like cracks, and it looks like some of the buildings could have easily fallen over. But luckily, it was only this one building, as far as I know, that was a construction site that collapsed. I'm sure many of you have probably seen the viral video that's spreading all over social media of this building collapsing. And they're still searching for survivors that are buried in the rubble. I think they found a couple people already, but there's been, hundreds of reported deaths in Bangkok, and I think it's up to like 1,600 deaths in Myanmar. So really terrible situation. And, these things don't happen very often, especially in a place like Bangkok. And it happens to be on this fault line. So I forget what the fault line is called, but there's a fault line that runs from Myanmar down through Thailand, and I think even into Philippines as well. So mostly this earthquake affected Vietnam, which is where I was coming from at the time, and Da Nang, and Thailand and Myanmar. Maybe certain parts of the Philippines as well. But luckily now it seems like most things are back to normal in Bangkok. I'm really glad to be out of the city. Basically, I'll continue the story a little bit. So I was at the airport, and I just rescheduled my flight to Samui out of Suvarnabhumi because I didn't really want to deal with taking the red line, and then possibly there's going to be a lot of traffic and maybe even some structural damage to the rail line itself. I didn't really want to risk that. So yeah, I just changed my flight through Bangkok Airways at the ticket office. I had to pay like an extra 900 baht, but I'm like, screw it. Let's do it. I don't really want to deal with taking it, especially a taxi. I didn't want to take a taxi for sure because there's going to be so much traffic due to the earthquake, so that I just rescheduled the flight. And then there was a time just for like 30 minutes or so, the I wasn't able to check in to get on the flight because of the earthquake, and I think the systems were down for a little bit as well, and my flight ended up being delayed by like 45 minutes or something like this. But no big deal. I was able to fly back to Samui, and really glad to be back here after 3 weeks in Vietnam. I was starting to miss my fiance. I was missing my house, my comfortable bed to sleep in, and I was getting a little bit tired of living out of a suitcase and sleeping and switching hotels every couple days. But yeah, it was great, and I really enjoyed another 3 weeks in Vietnam. It's very affordable there. The people are super friendly. They speak a pretty good English as well. But yeah, just wanted to do a quick report on the earthquake, and I hope everyone is staying safe and you weren't badly injured or anything. And yeah, my heart goes out to the people that have been killed, not only in Bangkok but also up in Myanmar. I'm sure it's just devastation up there, and luckily they're getting some foreign aid from different countries. And I think this could actually help maybe bring the country together a little bit. Hopefully, there could be some sort of silver lining to this earthquake because, like I say, they're asking for foreign aid now, and that could possibly bring them together. Who knows? Who knows how it's all going to play out? But I'll keep you posted on any updates. But it seems like Bangkok is back to normal again. I was only there for a couple hours at the airport, and didn't really affect me all that much, luckily. But I'm really glad that I chose to reschedule my flight so that I didn't have to deal with all the traffic and seeing buildings collapse or who knows what. It didn't affect us here in Samui at all. Luckily, it wasn't an underwater earthquake. If it was an underwater earthquake, we could have had a terrible tsunami here. I hope that doesn't happen anytime soon. Luckily, the earthquake originated in Myanmar on land, so we didn't get affected at all here in Samui, which is great. And with that being said, take care, stay safe. Peace from Thailand. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.